Coach Bruce, The Athletic. Donovan, just this game in general, what stood out to you about the way that you guys fought back, and especially for you, just your momentum tonight?
We came out the gates strong. That was my biggest thing coming out of Boston. It's easy for a team like ourselves who's trying to, get to where we want to get to come out, have a big win, a big hard-fought win, and then come out tonight and kind of come out flat, and kind of have a little bit of a hangover from the previous game. So for me, just trying to set that tone there, and we did a pretty good job of that to start. And then we didn't finish the quarter too well. Second quarter, I won't say we got bored with repetition, but sometimes if something's working, why change it? And I take a lot of blame for that, just for as far as like turnovers, silly plays, stuff like that. So, but we did a really good job executing. We finally, the fourth quarter was our best defensive quarter of the game, and we're giving JB heart attacks, I guess, on the sideline. But it's never going to be perfect. I've said that since I got here. It's never going to be perfect. There's going to be ups and downs, especially this early. But for us, just continuing to improve, step by step and moment after moment. Like, after they get up, that was it 9? I think it was. How do you respond to that? And JB came in the huddle and said, look, they just testing your mental and your pride right here, and how you going to respond. And for us as a group, collectively on both ends of the floor, we really did a good job in that fourth quarter.
And I know, obviously, after everything from this summer, did this game have any extra meaning for you at all?
I always love playing against, my home team. I mean, it's easy to point to the summer and say that, but, I'm pretty much friends with everybody on that team, so it's always great to play against your guys, and I got nothing but love for them. And Johnny Bryant's like, a big brother to me, so it's always, fun to go against it. But I wouldn't say I used it for that, but it's definitely, you can make that. Everybody probably will make that, but that's not what it is. I got nothing but love for those guys over there. But when it's your home team, you want to go out there and play hard, and that's all I was trying to do. And yeah.
Thank you.
Marla right now, Akron Beacon Journal. Going into the fourth, did you say I got to take this team on my shoulders or anything like that?
So I think the biggest thing was just making the easy play. We kind of got scattered a little bit. They pull up to push and transition. They hadn't really played like that since I've been in the league, and you got to give them credit. But just being able to kind of be a calming presence on the offense, understanding that the eyes will be on me, so guys will get extra shots, guys will get open shots. And Dean Wade and K Love, man, they were phenomenal. In Boston, Dean turned down a few shots, and we started screaming at him in a good way to shoot the ball, and to respond the way he did tonight is huge. But for me, just coming in that fourth and just trying to be a calming presence, understanding that we're not down 30, we're not down, we're right there. It's 3 possessions, and how do we find a way to respond out of that? And collectively, we did a good job. But for me, just trying to find ways to just be a leader in those moments. And tonight, it was doing a bunch of everything, and my teammates continuously make it easy for me.
What did it feel like in there when you made that 4-point play? I don't know if I've heard that place that loud.
Honestly, I wasn't even in that headspace. I'm just at that point, just trying to 4-point play, make the free throws, a tie game. How do we respond to that? But it definitely got loud. But I was so locked in that I was kind of not thinking about it and whatever. But just trying to find a way to move on to the next play and get a win.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, Donovan. What has allowed you to feel so comfortable with this team, considering how early it is?
Trust in my teammates. My teammates trust me. The coaches trust me. And not to say I didn't have trust before, but I think the biggest thing is coming in there, and it's easy to kind of try to feel your way into a new situation. But JB, we've had several talks and just about just being yourself. And with DG out, I kind of have to take on a little bit more of a load. And when he comes back, obviously we'll share that load for sure. But just being myself, I feel like I've always been this type of player, and I think just for me, just trying to find a way to be the best player I can be, whether it's scoring, defending, passing, rebounding, just trying to be a leader for this group in any way possible.
And you think the Knicks want to do over on that trade?
You gotta ask them. I'm happy. Like I said, man, I'm happy to be here. It's over with, and we got a good win, but we're 5-1, and we'll see these guys again. Like in a month or two or whatever it is, so they're gonna be ready, and we got a good team in Boston tomorrow. Like 3 days. So we got some time.
Danny Cunningham, ESPN Cleveland. Donovan, what was the conversation like in the huddle between the third and the fourth quarter?
JB sat down. I don't know if JB said this, but JB sat down and he was just like, they're testing. Like literally, he said they're testing your mental and your heart right now. They're driving you one-on-one, taking it to us. Julius getting down, trying to finish, and how are we going to respond as a group? And I think each individual collectively did a great job guarding their man, being there on the boards, second efforts. Isaac Okoro was exhausted, but he was a game changer, especially in that fourth. Especially, a guy who hasn't hit many shots and hasn't scored much, and for him to come out and continuously, make the play defensively, regardless if he gets the foul call, it's a bad call, like continuously making guys' lives tougher. And you don't see that on the stat sheet. Like you will look at his stats and you won't think, much of it, but he was fighting, the whole fourth. He set that tone and we followed suit.
And then in the fourth quarter, it was a lot of you and a lot of Kevin offensively. What did you see from the Knicks defense that made that two-man game work?
Just trying to find, just trying to find ways to get your shooter in the action. You got to respect K-Love. He had 30, but he's a great shooter. And if you switch or you want to hedge, or we're going to just abuse that mismatch as much as we can. And whether it's tonight, the next game, like that's another way we can play. We have so many different ways we can play down the stretch. And that was just the one that worked tonight. And just continuously trying to find a way to manipulate it. He pops, I drive, somebody helps, Dean has a shot in the corner. Like there's just so many ways, so many options. And when you have a team that's so close, like in the locker room, I don't know if y'all feel it, like see it, but like for us, it's like we just vibe and gel, and you understanding that you can hold each other accountable, tell each other where to be, picking up things, working on things, and not even have to practice it, but just see it on film or hear it in the huddle and then be able to fix it. That's a good thing to have, and it's still early. We're 5-1, and that's great. We're sure the fans are feeling great, but there's a lot of stuff we can continue to work on and get better at, because it's only going to get tougher.
Jason Lloyd, it's obviously very, very early, and you've been without Darius. But for those of us who didn't watch you every night in Utah, is this how you played in Utah, or is there anything different?
As much as I try to stay off Twitter, I feel like that's the one thing everybody tags me on Twitter and asks the same question. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say 12 assists and 30 every night, but when Mike was out, I had to do that. And I think, like I said, I was, taking on that responsibility, and I've worked to take on that responsibility. And, we were in Mountain Time. No one really watched us, so you kind of fall under the radar when you're the early game, and you're here. It's a little different, and just continue to do what I do. I think I've been doing this for a while, and and when Darius comes back, I just look to add to it. He's going to add to it as well. There's no worrying about what happens when he comes back. When he comes back, he's going to take us to another level because he's an extraordinary player. But for me, it's just I feel like I've just been doing this, nonstop, and I've just continued to get better and more efficient. And that's the one thing I've always preached every season, is trying to find ways to be more efficient. And when you hear that, you think like percentages from the field, but I'm thinking, like I averaged 4 turnovers this year. That's unacceptable. Like, I got to work on that. Controlling the game, controlling the fourth, controlling whatever, being the leader. Just trying to find ways to be the most efficient player possible. And I think this has been my best stretch in my career, but I got to keep going.
This meeting to start?
Yeah, this is six games. It's early. Like, everybody's going to get excited, and it's only 6 games. We got a long way to go. Kevin Love.
Last 2, Hayden and then Joe.
Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com. Speaking of Kevin, I mean, what does he mean to you? What does he mean to this team? Given that he's, he calls himself grandpa, but I mean, what's his role?
You got the grandpa foot on, but it's fire. I ain't gonna lie. When you're in the fourth, and what did you say to me in the huddle? You said something like, if we make it a tie game by 6 minutes?
We're down, I think a dozen. So let's get it, when we get to 6, let's make it a tie game.
And that's what we did. That's exactly what we did. Like, when you have that calming presence in my ear, as well as everybody else, like, it's like, all right, just one possession at a time. And, you break the fourth quarter into each stop, each possession, and he's been phenomenal. Obviously, having 29 tonight, shooting the ball, he's consistent with that. But just being a leader, being steady, a calming presence on the floor. That's he's been there. He's been in games like this 1,000 times, and succeeded and has won. So when you have a guy like that, outside of just his shooting ability, just being able to understand where he needs to be, understand the game. Except for that one turnover, I didn't like that one.
The lob.
But He's been great, man, and this is the Kevin Love we all know, and it's great to be on this team.
Last one, Joe.
Joe Barton, The Athletic. Trying to take another bite at the same apple here about if you are playing any differently. JB said that to him, you seem like maybe more of a complete player than he realized. And, we've seen you here at times, but I remember some of your games in the bubble, I remember some of the playoff games. And it does seem like maybe you are reaching a slightly different level. And I'm just wondering if you feel freer or energized by a different jersey, or if there's anything that you can put your finger on.
Yeah. I think I said it when the season ended last year. Like I took this whole summer to just focus on myself. And believe it or not, through all the craziness, the names being thrown in every trade or whatever, like this was like my best summer as far as just for mentally just being focusing on me, physically being healthy, getting to work. So it started there. We ended way earlier than I've ever ended in my career. So I sat there, and you sit there and you're angry. You're angry, and then you're not knowing where you're going. So it's just a lot of fuel, that you could use. But for me, it's just focusing on Don. How can I be the best player I can be on both ends of the floor? And then you come into a new situation. Nobody knows what. You really have something to prove, to be honest. Like, nobody knows. Everybody kind of heard, when you're in Utah, but it's like, what are you doing? And like I said, it doesn't have to be 30 every night. It's just being the best player I can be for the group. And it's been that way because DG's been out, and when he comes back, continuing to stay at that level and continue to be the best player I can be. But I've definitely taken a step, but like I said, it's only been 6 games. It's only been a 6-game stretch, and I know we like to kind of, do all this stuff early, but it's only October. We're looking to play as late as we possibly can, and that's really where my head is at. But as far as taking that step, that's my goal. I didn't do it last year like I wanted to. I'm just trying to find a way to do it here. And when you have teammates that believe in you, coaches that believe in you, why not keep going?